Welcome back to In the Oven with Adam and Brad. Go ahead, take a sip. Go ahead, take your sip, you know? Go ahead, let it touch those lips.
Versa Energy by PE Science.
We got Thanksgiving coming up.
Yeah, we do. I'm excited.
Yeah. We also have a jet flying over, which you can't hear, but we can. I love this time of year, but I wish it was colder. You probably can tell based on what I'm wearing. It's not very cold out right now.
Guns are looking good, though.
Thanks. Yeah, keep them fresh,
looking sharp.
It's like 75 today.
Yeah, it was chilly the past couple of
mornings. I know. It literally, I swear to you, it warmed up for 4 days. Those 4 days were yesterday, today, tomorrow, and Thanksgiving. Yep. And then Friday comes and it's like cold again.
Cold, yeah.
I mean, by cold, I mean like literally, in the 40s. And so it's literally one to be like, well, maybe depends. You know, maybe it's like, hey, everybody's going outside for Thanksgiving. I got you.
Well, you got to love the good old Florida Panhandle because where we're situated, you know, you've got the Gulf and obviously the United States above us. And so we get like a random push of air from up north. It's cold down here. Then we get a random push of air from down south, comes across that hot Gulf water, and it's like 70 degrees. So, yeah, it's definitely the getting sick time of year.
Well, I told people growing up, you never knew if Christmas was going to be snow, which has happened. Mm-hmm. It's only happened one time in my 37 years of living here, you know, and it was when I was like 3 or 2.
But it's been frigid, but just not rain.
Again, what I'm trying to get at, though, it could snow or it could legitimately be 75 degrees and you can go to the beach with your friends and hang out on the beach.
Oh, yeah, I've had tank top Christmases for sure.
Yeah.
I've also had, like, Canadians tell me it's ridiculously cold because how wet and humid and just...
Is the water cold yet? I know it's cooler. Is it cold?
No, I've had Decembers where the Gulf is still plenty warm to get in. It's a lot warmer than the air.
Yeah, because the truth is usually like March when people come to spring break here, the water's cold.
Cold.
It's just hot enough outside that you can like deal with the frigidness of the water. But I honestly think our water temperatures right now are probably... On a day like today, they would be like refreshing, but they wouldn't be cold. Right. And so, yeah. But again, it's weird living in Panama City or I guess the Florida Panhandle because could snow, could be a beach day.
What are you looking most forward to on Thanksgiving?
I really do like food out all the time. I don't know why. I'm not like a grazer usually, but like there's something about just like food being there when you want it.
No, I get it. I like that too.
Yeah.
I like this is kind of weird. I almost feel like I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth because it's very hectic and stuff.
Yeah.
But just the families being together.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's what you're supposed to do. I mean, the hard things when you're done with them, they feel like, oh, yeah, that was good. The kids got to see their, you know, aunts or uncles or cousins, and you got to.
Well, do you host it at your house?
No, we used to kind of like rotate the different holidays. Kirsty's aunt is hosting it this time. Kylie or Kirsty's mother used to host. Kylie's her sister. One of those used to host it every year. We used to host Christmas brunch every year, but families have like moved and families have expanded.
You weren't in your house last year because y'all were renting a house, and your house is a really good hosting house. It is. You have a really nice yard. You have a really good like kind of a big kitchen area.
We can kick the kids outside. We got a big backyard, and they can be entertained out there. And then you have
a big deck and everything.
Big flow.
I think I like it so much because we don't host it.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong. Like, I like being the host house from the aspect of, like, my family's really great. They really will stay behind and they will clean. Ari's baby shower was up here at, you know, our Fat and Weird HQ, if you will. And, like, I, like, turned on the cameras and, like, there were 3 adults there, like, helping Aubrey clean up stuff. So, like, my family's not one to just, like, peace, you know? So... But I do like this idea of like I go home to my clean house, no chaos has occurred.
Yeah, that's where I
feel the
that's
calmness.
Where I get conflicted because I like to be, I don't know, working, busy, moving. Right? If you guys can't tell, but I'm always moving around doing something, and so. You know, as far as like my side of the family at gatherings, a lot of times just like me and my mom, of course, my kids are there, Kirsty's there, and all of Kirsty's family, who is my family too, but it's really, they want to see her, they want to see the kids, I'm just there. So it's easier if I have like jobs anyways, so I'm just like less awkward. Because to them, they feel like I'm not involved, but it's like kind of hard for me to jump in on your childhood stories, you know, or add anything to it unless I make it about me, you know? And so I kind of like, you know, play fly on the wall or whatever, but...
Well, and I don't really think you reminisce on your childhood much.
No, I don't.
So that's probably part of it too.
Like deep repressed memories there. But
well, I mean, because I think some people would be like, like Aubrey's family was talking, I could jump in and like interject. My thing is like, I'm the oldest sibling, Aubrey's the youngest, like that. We had like a similar family dynamic, and you did. And,
very different family dynamics, very different stuff like that.
Is your dad gonna be in, like? I mean, your parents are now here.
Yeah, so they're down here, kind of balancing the split family role. Did it early life, whatever. Navigating it carefully, whatever. It's kind of weird being the kid, of the situation.
Have you thought about just saying screw it, just put them in the same room?
Yeah, but like,
would it blow up?
It's more. I now feel like I have a bit of a protector role for my mother and. Stuff like that. Anyways, it is what it is. It'll work itself out. But we're doing like Thanksgiving with my dad and Karen on Wednesday. They're going to come over and hang out and do some stuff with the kids. And then Thursday we'll do the formal thing. And I mean, it's not any different than folks having to bounce from house to house or do what they usually do. So it's just first year that they're down here. So interesting. They're building a house though, so I think it'll be a little different when they. Have
their house is gonna be really nice too. It's like on the lake, like good view. It's gonna be a really cool house to go for holidays and stuff. Yeah, it's Aubrey's family. So normally we go to Montana for Thanksgiving.
Right.
This is actually one of the few Thanksgivings that like we're down here. I know some couples will do like one Christmas, one Thanksgiving, Aubrey's family, since they're so much older, like they don't do Christmas as a family anymore. I mean, Aubrey.
Smart. It's hard to hold everybody to that.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, but the part is Aubrey's is the youngest. Her older siblings have kids that are like literally in high school, like getting ready for college. So like they've already kind of have their own family units. Those kids have like girlfriends and boyfriends and stuff. So like, they don't do anything for Christmas. So we've always gone there for Thanksgiving, and then we always do Christmas with my family because I don't know, my family's big on Christmas stuff. Yeah, that's smart though.
If you can allocate and just say like, hey, do your own thing for Christmas. We want Thanksgiving.
Right.
Like we want everybody in this house one day a year.
Yeah. But because of Aubrey being so far pregnant now, we're not traveling to Montana. So this will be like one of our, I wouldn't say first because we've had Thanksgivings down here, but it's,
One thing they don't talk about, this is kind of squirrel brain moment here, but they tell women not to fly, but they really don't talk about how much radiation you're dosed with every time you go up in the air.
Right. Yeah.
And like babies don't need that.
Yeah. I think that that's something I learned about because of my military stuff. The amount of radiation that you guys get from flying is like the equivalent of getting your teeth x-rayed at the doctor's office. Like it's a lot of radiation.
It's a
lot. Honestly, like the only people that get consistently more radiation would be like someone that smokes cigarettes.
Yeah.
You get a lot of radiation from that, believe it or not. Yeah. But it's solar radiation, radon, from being that much closer to the sun and less time.
No shielding them little thin little aluminum walls.
Yeah. And so it's definitely, when we used to fly, like we had these things called TLDs that monitored our dosages of radiation, and they had to go into a special like lead lined case to not get dosages when we flew because those don't count. Yeah, it would be higher than a allotted amount.
Those don't count towards your yearly dosimeter limit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. How about food? What food item are you looking forward to?
Oh, well, I do love fried turkey. I mean, people that don't eat fried turkey or have never had that, I'm so sorry for you.
Stop.
Yeah.
Start, actually.
You're missing out on fried turkey. I love fried turkey. I like to make, which is funny because you do this after the fact, it's like making leftover sandwiches. But like I kind of make this sandwich where I'll take a roll and I put some gravy and stuffing and turkey and like everything, mashed potatoes. I just put like the whole Thanksgiving in between.
The meal, just right there. Man, I saw a video today. It was somebody, they made like Thanksgiving meal in muffin tins, but did it with pie crusts.
Okay.
So they like lined them all and then put them on top. So it's like Thanksgiving bite in a pie. And I was like, oh, forget about it.
Well, it was like cranberry, everything.
Like a little bit of cranberry, a little bit of stuffing, a little bit of mashed potato, a little bit of turkey,
gravy,
something else. I don't know. Yeah, probably some gravy. Heck yeah. I like definitely fried turkey. Definitely like taking all my food and kind of mixing it to make a perfect Thanksgiving bite. But I also like that little jelly can of cranberry sauce.
Well, I don't know
what's in there.
You're not weird though. The consensus is if it's not in the can, I don't want it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're not.
All right, cool.
So you may think it's a hot take, but literally on social media, I've like come to find out.
Like done gourmet like cranberry sauce. It's fire.
No, but I think that people just can't do it though, right?
Yeah,
they don't do it well.
Yeah, I mean, you just cook it down, add some orange juice, add plenty of sugar. The first time I made cranberry juice, cranberry
And I like it to be a little bit more solid.
Yeah.
You know, I like it to
congeal with gelatin.
Yeah,
You do
yeah.
all that agar, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But the first time I was making it, I was like, oh, cool, cranberry, boom. I was like, I'm going to pop one of these in my mouth. It was the grossest thing ever. It's not good at all.
The only reason it tastes good is the amount of sugar they put in that thing.
100%.
Yeah. So do you have any food items that are like, people be like, if they came to your house or not, they're like, what's that? We don't have that on Thanksgiving. Like, it's like not very traditional.
When we were running the fryer more regularly, we would fry ribs. I like fried ribs. They're really good. And you got a big deep pot of fry oil going. So
while you got hot oil
in there. Yeah. Fry everything on Thanksgiving.
Are you frying a turkey?
I don't know, because it's over at Sandy's house. I think I'm going to buy a fryer just to make sure one happens. But like,
because I thought you were frying a cookie too.
I want to, all that. So the plan is to fry that. Fry some ribs. There's this like sweet potato thing. I want to make a little ball, and then I want to see how our cookies do fried from frozen.
Okay, but in general, fried ribs is kind of the thing you'd say is like weird.
I would say that's the weirdest thing ever. It wasn't weird to me because someone gave me fried ribs, and I didn't think it was crazy when I tried them. But normally people are like, "What?
Yeah,
what fried ribs?"
Aubrey makes this like ramen salad thing that has like baby shrimp in it, and it just seems weird to have at a Thanksgiving meal, but it's like something that her mom makes, that like potluck type stuff.
There's always that one random whenever you go to a potluck where you're like, what is this?
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like, it's literally like ramen noodles, like brought to yeah, and then it's got like little baby shrimp in there.
I've seen that.
This is ramen salad, and everyone. The reason it's at our Thanksgiving is because everyone's like, "Oh, Aubrey, you're gonna make that ramen salad again." So it's not like this like weird thing that people are like, "Don't eat that." Yeah. But I always think there's something too that like I look at it, I'm like, "Ooh, this is gonna be good," and I eat it, and I'm like, I don't know which one of my family members made this, but like, don't make this again.
Man, you know, I like a lot of Thanksgiving foods. I really do. Turkey is still weird that's our go-to. I mean, Big Turkey is doing the most, keeping that industry going. Because at no other time of the year am I like, hey, babe,
give me some turkey.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it. You want to do some turkey tonight?
Well, I would eat fried turkey more often if it was acceptable. I mean, by acceptable, I mean like if people are like, "What's for dinner?" You're like, "I'm frying a turkey."
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I guess I would eat it.
Hey, how jazzed would you be if I was like, "Hey, do you want to come to dinner?" And you're like, and it's, "Hey, hold on, it's May." I say, "Hey, you want to come to dinner?" And you're like, "What's for dinner?" I said, "We're having fried turkey."
Yeah, I mean, I'd be like weird, but yeah, I'm there. Cool.
You're like, "Can I bring the gravy?"
Yeah. But I watched
got the cranberry.
I watched a video the other day, and it was like on. They all happen to be like Asian, also from India. You know, obviously India's in Asia, but just kind of that hemisphere of the world. And first generation Americans whose family celebrated Thanksgiving here and like what they ate. And these kids grew up just thinking this is like what everyone in America ate.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, the stuff looked good. I like that all kinds of ethnic whatever types of food. But yeah, they were like frying up like wontons, but then a bunch of them made like they used like white bread that they like smashed out.
Yeah.
And so they were like, this is just how Americans make they don't use rice flour, I guess. They smash white bread. So they just, I don't know. It looked really good though. So
what is the, it's Christmas that people eat like Chinese food on Christmas.
Yeah,
right?
there's that. Cause takeout, I think it's the whole like, not cooking and just ordering takeout.
Yeah. But it is. I forgot. It is. It's like Christmas. We'll have to dig into that when we get to Christmas time. We'll have to do our research. But, well, that's our little ramble-in session of what's going on in our lives. I enjoy talking about. Yeah. You know what? People all the time, they're like, oh, when you talk about cookies, like you're so passionate. I was like, I think I'm just passionate about food. Like, I just like food, you know?
And feeding people.
Yeah. Yeah. I do believe that that's like a love language type thing. You know, it's just like that whole situation.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like primal, whatever, not overdoing it, but like, you used to have to go out, and if you could come back with some food, it was a pretty good trait. And so, like, if you can whip up something that's delicious, I don't know.
Well, yeah, and if you could provide for people that weren't your family, it would be like a trait of probably like generosity, just because like it's so much. Yeah, interesting. All right, we're gonna start off with a hot take on. I think this is your girl, Cody, right?
Yeah, Cody Sanchez.
It's how I own 26 business and not go crazy. Here we go.
How I own 26 companies without going crazy. Outsourcing. So the reason that I ended up owning 26 businesses wasn't because I was a genius. It was because I was bored with a capital B. So I started to study all the billionaires who own multiple businesses simultaneously. Musk, Bezos, Buffett, Munger, Zell, Cuban. And I was like, these guys aren't that crazy intelligent. They just have a better process. So I'm going to give you 3 things that helped me manage a bunch of businesses. The goal for you guys would be go out and create income streams in multiple different ways from multiple businesses. Okay. First, hiring is everything. All the processes in the world won't fix bad talent. So when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Fire people fast. Second, give everybody on your team one number to focus on. For instance, in our media business, I say, Nikki, who's my COO there, I want you to focus on 300,000 newsletter subscribers. That's it. If you want to mention another number to me, I'm going to ignore you completely because that is your one thing. The third thing is what Amazon calls a one-page culture. It's how we operate. I want you to go out, tell all the people who are on our teams that they need to follow these rules. So those 3 things help me own 26 things.
Yeah, it's official. She's the queen of yapping. She just gave everybody the zero information.
Yeah, I want to say, first off, the key to doing anything she's talking about is money. Period.
Yeah.
You have to buy a company, you have to have money.
She didn't tell you how to buy 26.
And then if you own a business that has someone called a CAO in it, that business costs a whole lot of money because you have so much structure in there that someone has a title of a CAO.
And someone built all that structure.
Right.
And charged a penny.
So, and then of course, hiring or outsourcing. Essentially, Adam and I were talking before this because we saw that this was going to be one of the ones. We didn't even see the video, and knowing who it was and the title, we decided that, yes, you own the businesses just like the person that is the majority investor in any company. I don't think that she's heavily involved in 26 of those businesses.
Dude, you couldn't solve 26 problems a day.
Yeah.
And you got one little problem pop up every day that somebody can't solve optimally.
Right. So
yeah, if you can outsource your whole team and you can just own 26 businesses, dude, this is get yourself 10 rental houses for you 30 and you can look, outsource. Okay. How? Build revenue streams. Okay. How? Buy businesses. Okay, how? Don't worry about that. Amazon has a one-page thing, and also tell everyone in your company to follow these rules. What rules?
Yeah. So
what was the video I just watched?
So here's my practical advice if this were me. 1, buy or start a company. Grow that company to a size that it's cash flowing you well enough that you can replace yourself from that company with someone else and you can still produce a profit. Then buy another company, do the same thing, rinse and repeat until now you own 26 companies where you just are scraping off the top because you've replaced yourself once you figured out how to run the company.
Yeah, man. Things that cash flow don't typically sell for less than they're worth. If it makes me money every month and I don't have to do anything, right? This hypothetical sellable business, why am I going to sell it to you for nothing? I'm not. I'm going to sell it to you for something. Because I want that amount, that bulk, that something. So there's all this, yes, there's all these baby boomers. Yes, they have unsellable businesses. Yes, there's huge opportunities in the market. My advice would be for you to understand what any of that means. Start learning. If you don't know, just Google some of those terms. Because there's so much that you would need to learn to be able to bring value to somebody who goes, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore. They would have to trust that you have the skills to take their business and run it in their absence and continue to make the money to pay them if they're going to own or finance it to you or any of the other things that Cody Sanchez is going to tell you to do. Now, if you run your mouth enough and tell people enough that you do these things enough and you just tell people you're successful on the internet, there's enough people that are probably just going to take you at face value and give you equity. I'm not saying that's how, but it's a play. People do it. I see it every day. Yeah, man, there's a lot of yap there. How do you figure out how to run one business without pulling your hair out? And then come talk to us. I think it's just entrepreneur porn that gets more clicks on social media.
Yeah, the more and more I've deep dived some of these bigger accounts, the more I realize they're not feeding you any information that you don't already know, or they're just roundabout saying nothing but sounding really intelligent while saying it.
Well, yeah. So we had 13.
And again, this is nothing against her. I think she's probably a really great person and she's very successful. But I don't think what you just saw is her, really. You saw the personality she's created online that garners that. If you were to actually talk to her, I bet the conversation would be completely different. But
yeah, I mean, we had, who knows how many stores under development. We had 13 under management at one time. I didn't consider that 13 businesses. It was one business that had 13 locations, Right. So I don't know what she's considering. 20. Did you go get 3 laundromats from one owner and that's 3 businesses? I mean, yes, they are 3 individual businesses, but I think 26 just sounds a lot cooler than like one management company that I run with my CAOs and my tech team. And I was able to build this team around me that able to force multiply myself. And really, I just get up here and talk a lot and kind of make money off social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like once you develop the engine, like even the engine we've been able to develop here over like kind of the past year of like, oh yeah, I mean, we could do a lot more if somebody put the, if we wanted to spin a product, like with our sales channels, we could like white label something over here and throw it in a channel. It's not really a new business. I mean,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, and truthfully, Fat and Weird is getting to a point where, like, if you really want to, like, get rid of your margins by bringing people in, you could almost let it run itself, and then you could, like, go off and do other things. I don't think it's to that point. You know what? A good example, my parents' business. My parents had entertained, potentially, like, selling their business, what that would look like, things like that. I know, like, the numbers that they were looking for. I know what an SBA loan would have been. There was still a lot of money to be made by that person just through an SBA loan every year of buying my parents' business. I mean, obviously they had to come up with some money down, but like in general, there was still, and I ran the numbers to the point where they could have hired 3 6-figure management people to do everything for them and not do anything, and they would still be 6 figures profitable. That aspect is what I'm thinking you could potentially do for businesses. But again, you need the money to do it down, and you need the knowledge to actually operate businesses, who you bring in, making sure that they're like meeting metrics.
Yeah,
and
where
stuff,
I
so.
see there being a huge opportunity, if somebody wanted to do something like what Cody Sanchez is doing at scale, would be to slide in as a consulting service to these unsellable business folks and act as a third-party intermediary to act as more of like a property manager, if you will, over these people that you're going to put in place. Like, who's making sure these people aren't robbing you blind? Who's making sure that, the company is being ran like you would expect it, a QA, a QC, again, just kind of intermediary that could have its fingers in a ton of businesses that would have actual equity in those businesses because it would have, vested interest in that bottom line, and keep it in the family. I mean, there's a lot of folks that like, I grew up with plenty of people that had, I mean, you worked in your family business, so you got the benefit of that. I knew people that didn't have to, and they couldn't run their family business to save their life. Right. So that it's not staying in the family if it stays open. And that's the big deal is like, if you don't have a competitor that needs something of yours, they'll just watch you die. Right. It's easier. It's cheaper. Right. They'll take your employees. They'll take your... Whereas if there's a company that would come in and run it and you knew, hey, a small portion of this or a portion of this is going to go to my family forever because this other company is essentially giving us but they're going to take this business from us and they're essentially owner financing it to the end of the time. Yeah, like we're going to form a corporation with your family and it's going to form its own trust and then it's held forever. Exactly. Yeah. There'd be plenty of people that would do that 100%. And so then, that's actually a really cool business idea. Look at that. But do it. You just got to do it. All free. Or, hey, email me. I'll help you with the game plan. I'll actually give you some real advice. Or you can just yap on the internet. Yeah. And say. My CAO told me 300,000. All right. Elon to buy MSNBC. Oh, this is hilarious. Yeah.
Elon Musk has stirred speculation after joking about buying American news-based television
off a Twitter post,
MSNBC.
X-post.
The conversation began when Donald Trump Jr. tagged Musk on X, responding to a post about Comcast possibly selling the network. The exchange drew parallels to Musk's 2017 remarks about buying Twitter. Back then, he casually asked, "How much is it?" And 5 years later, in 2022, he purchased Twitter for $44 billion, rebranding it as X. Musk's playful yet taunting exchange with Trump Jr. delighted the MAGA supporters. While some joked about renaming the network.
I mean, I think so basically he did the same exchange, right? So Donald Trump Jr. tags him in the post and Elon goes, "How much is it?" Yeah. So same thing. That's it. It's left that way. It's left there. Yeah, man. It's kind of crazy. I think Patrick Bet-David did the report. I want to say it's him. I watch him a lot. So if it wasn't, somebody did a market report on the values of these companies, and like Fox News was the only one that made any money. Yeah. And like the declining, I mean, like the talent of the show hosts are declining because the pay is declining because now these folks are going and finding their own ways to do things and starting their own shows, starting their whole channels.
Did you see that Trump has said that he's opening up the like press secretary thing to influencers now. It's not just going to be like formally. And someone literally goes, how's it going to feel when MSNBC and Fox News are sitting in the back row and the front row is like the Nelk Boys and Joe Rogan and these like people like that, which personally, I tend to like it. At the end of the day, I realize they're also trying to make money too, but the corporations just really play a game that has to do a lot more with things that we don't know, whereas these people are just individual people.
I love the idea of it.
Yeah.
I love the idea of somebody like from...
independent journalists.
Well, I don't think Joe Rogan needs to go. But somebody can be like, hey, I'm here from Joe Rogan Experience, here's my question. Because Joe Rogan has made so much money and is just the type of person he is, I believe he would kind of protect what is journalism, but then you're just really expanding it to a group of folks that I feel like have their hands out just as much or more than anybody, like the influencers in the wild. You know what I mean? You don't know if people are like the products.
But then it's just the relatability of like you tend to like maybe know that person a little bit. For example, I know House and Habit is like one of the ones that's potentially on that list. She has 1 million followers. Like I've seen her kids. I've seen that like she marched against Trump when his first thing, and then all of a sudden has become a huge Trump supporter.
Oh, I think it's
coins this phrase like the Trump
political strategy for sure. Yeah. I think there's no way around it.
Well, Matt, do you feel like we're going to get any more unfiltered or more unbiased news, or do you think it's always just going to be biased just because at the end of the day we're all biased in some extent?
What I think is happening is what usually happens. The filter has been removed because we've been able to remove it with our like technology and access to information.
Yeah.
But the powers that be still need to manipulate us or try to at the very least. So instead of filtering, which you don't have information, which is not good, I feel like they're just going to pour more wild craziness. I feel like we got a lot of stuff in the day-to-day that's just there to distract us from stuff.
Yeah.
Since they can't keep the information out of us, they're like, listen, these people are going to find out about this, so we also have to piss them off about X, Y, and Z.
Well, that's why I think it's a really big deal, which, you know, going back to Elon to buy it, I don't think he should buy it. I think it's a waste of his money. I think that Twitter is, but I don't know if you saw this clip from like Bill Gates saying what we should be using AI for is going on the internet and scrubbing any vaccine disinformation off the internet before it even gets hit. And then I know you've seen the push recently to scrub disinformation off of social media. So I think it's important that people like Elon Musk, who believe in free speech, own these platforms because they're not going to allow that to happen on their platforms. Because I think, you know, the most dangerous thing that can happen is just the inability to like share or hear thoughts,
freedom of speech,
whether you like them or not.
Yeah, that's the reason it's the First Amendment.
Well, just because at the end of the day, like you and I have talked about this, but like just because I don't like what you have to say doesn't mean that like you don't have a right or a reason to voice those things. And when you get to a certain point, someone's going to decide what those right and wrong things are, and then if you disagree with that, like it doesn't matter.
Well, yes, and disagreements are also just one important in general to be able to handle and process a disagreement. But like, I feel like they keep us a little more centered.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm necessarily coming to your side of the equation, but like maybe it makes me rethink my side.
Well, yeah.
The extremity of my side, if you
or even just makes you put different perspective on your side. And you may not even change what your side is, but it just gives you something else to consider, you know? So, all right. Well, 6 ways to become wealthy. Can't wait to hear this. I love it when I don't even have to hit play yet. It says there's 6 sources of income. That's my favorite quote that has just been taken way too far on generating wealth, but let's go.
There's 6 sources of income to become absolutely wealthy today. 1, it's C-suite jobs, CEO, CFO, CTO, that kind of stuff. Licensed professionals, doctors, lawyers, surgeons, accountants. High ticket sales, you're selling yachts, jets, mansions, you're getting a percentage of that. 4 is fame with an audience. That's difficult to define, but it's essentially actors, musicians, influencers, people that are creators. I would probably distill it down to, and they have people that listen to them or pay attention to what they have to say. When Kim Kardashian says, buy my Spanx brand, women in droves click the button and they go and buy the Spanx brand, right? STEM, software engineers, tech leads, that kind of stuff. I've talked to lots of guys on consults going through Divorce Grinder that have made $800,000 a year working for companies like Amazon, Facebook, or whatever, just doing Cody stuff, like the geeky stuff. And 6 is entrepreneurship, which is basically my chosen path.
So there's 6 sources of income to become extremely wealthy. And all of those sources are overlap. And I just said all high paying jobs that are out there. Yeah. So
just get a high paying job and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Start a very successful business and you'll be wealthy.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't talk about just being born wealthy. Why don't we just be born wealthy? You don't have to do
tax fraud.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Drug dealing.
Yeah, drug dealing, cartel stuff.
You know, why not?
Yeah. I guess that maybe is entrepreneurship, you know?
Yeah, maybe that is the Purdue game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, Yap. What?
Again.
Become a doctor. Okay. But again, dice that up, man. How much debt did you incur to become any of these things? What did you do? Yes, entrepreneurship is probably the easiest, lowest hanging fruit. You can do just about anything, yada, yada. I mean, I could expound, but I don't need to.
I just didn't realize there was this many people. I mean, that had 115,000 likes on it.
Just yapping, bro.
And it's just like,
get yourself 10 rental houses before you're 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, money advice out there on the internet, guys. No wonder everybody's broke. Like,
Palace?
I don't even know what
the Mind
to do.
Palace guy?
Oh,
seen the
yeah.
Mind Palace guy?
Yeah.
He's the best.
Why purpose matters. I think I like this one.
Oh,
the
Dan
thing
Martell.
that's required to not suffer is purpose. If we were gonna go run a 10K, and you're like, I don't wanna run a 10K, but you had to run the 10K, pain. If I told you you're running 10K because a friend of yours is suffering and they need you to get to them to help them, no pain. So you're telling me a thought would change my whole experience around what I'm going through. Yep, you gotta know why you're doing what you're doing, or it makes the how so hard.
Well, I mean, I agree with those statements, but it doesn't make the pain go away. It just makes the reason you're enduring the pain be more valid, you know? Like when I'm running out there and I decide to run 8 miles that day, because I said I'm going to do it, or I'm training for a marathon, doesn't change the fact that it's not enjoyable or it doesn't hurt. It just is the reason I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, man. I got kicked in the balls when I was a kid one time, and I've never wanted that to happen again. But we have 3 kids, so somehow my wife has wanted to have kids after going through all of that more than one time, right? You're having another kid.
Right.
Pain is definitely perspective. I don't want to get kicked in the balls again because there's no good benefit.
Right.
You know, if they were like, run a 10K and your friend's still going to die, you wouldn't run.
Right. I mean, that's my point is like, I wouldn't even do the thing if I don't have a reason to do it.
I guess I struggle with the social media thing because I know, like, you know, people used to share this type of shit with me, and it's like, I don't know what am I supposed to take away from that, Dan? Like, I mean, I know he's a legitimate business guy as far as I know. I'm not trying to be, but like, that's Yap. That's like, do a CrossFit competition to save your kid's life, and it won't
suck as much.
Like, okay. How does that relate to my life? Pretend your friend is dying and do your work every day? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to take away from that. So it's like, that's what it all is, though, dude. It's all Yap. It's like, oh, you know who Luke Belmar is? He's the king. He's the best at it.
Well, for me,
your mindset's wrong. You got to change. See, if you thought about it like this, you'd actually be a billionaire. And you're like, okay.
So, like, I mean, I definitely appreciate the thought behind it, but I think that's like, I don't know, maybe it's because we already do those things that, like, I just don't do things that I don't feel intrinsic value for. Like, if I don't feel value in it, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I mean, I know there's the whole motivation, discipline, or whatever, but like, I don't even think, I wouldn't even call what I do discipline. I just decided to do something. I just do it. If I woke up, told myself I was going to run 10K, I'm going to run 10K. Crying or not.
Yeah. And they're wise because I said it was going to.
Because I said I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what that is, but like, they're just like, people just need to do that.
It's called self-respect, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, actually.
It really is.
Yeah.
I respect myself so much that I'm going to do what I'm saying I'm going to do.
Yeah, like I was talking with somebody about that, about like dieting or whatever, and they were saying something like they didn't want someone to catch them like cheating on their diet. And it was like shocking to me because it was like, I wouldn't want myself to like, you know, like, yeah, but you're doing the diet for you. Them catching you, like, you know, you did it.
Yeah.
You got to live with that.
Yeah.
If you make a conscious decision to take a break or something, look, I'm not trying to knock anybody's like food, but I'm just saying, like, you decided to quit smoking, you I catch you, it doesn't matter, man.
Yeah. That actually reminds me of something like, it's kind of like on that topic with like someone told me one time, they were like, if you ever cheat on your spouse, when you tell them, you've now removed that burden from yourself and placed it onto them. That they know you've done this. Whereas like the other way is like, if you really made a mistake and you do something you have to live with for the rest of your life, and you can hold on to that burden forever and not choose to put that on them. It's kind of like the dieting thing, right? It's like, you're the one obviously you have a relationship, so you've hurt the relationship, but it was an interesting perspective. They were saying that like you've unloaded that. Now it's like your guilt is off of you, like, oh, I have no bad conscience anymore. And then now that person is holding on to like what you've done to the relationship.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
How you feel about that?
I mean, don't cheat on your spouse. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, like, to be honest, be whatever. I don't know. Lies, get compounded and make things worse. I don't know.
I think the idea, though, I was trying to get at is like similar to what you said, is like, you've got to live with your choice of what you've done, you know, beyond what other people think about your decision. Like, why do you not have enough respect for yourself to be like, I messed up and that's enough to let myself down?
Yeah, well, those little baby steps, right? The devil takes you along those little baby steps. It's not just wham bam, If it was wham bam somehow, like, babe, I got a tranquilizer darted and mounted. I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened. Then like it's easy to tell anyways, but otherwise you're like, well, I went to the bar, and then I went
a lot of bad decisions,
and then I went and you're just like, yeah, you're an idiot.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of times when we think about like things people have done, we act like they went from like on the path to like a mile down the street like instantly, but it's all these like little deviations from the path that just added up to go like, how'd you get over there, bro? So, all right. Benefits of L-theanine. I feel like this was just put in here just because Andy was researching L-theanine for his ADHD over here. So
in this video, I want to outline 3 benefits of L-theanine for ADHD as a naturopathic doctor. Number 1 is L-theanine promotes feelings of calm and relaxation. This is because L-theanine promotes the brain's alpha waves, which are associated with feelings of calm and focus. This can be particularly beneficial because L-theanine promotes relaxation without drowsiness. Number 2 is that L-theanine can improve attention span. Studies have shown that L-theanine can improve focus and attention span, which is very helpful for those with ADHD. And number 3 is that L-theanine can reduce anxiety. This can be very beneficial because many people with ADHD also struggle with anxiety. If you found value in this video, follow me for more tips.
I literally can't stand the way he edited his video. Yeah. It was really driving me crazy, like the moving back and forth, because the books behind his head were like flipping directions. So it's very distracting for me.
There's a lot going on.
I honestly didn't even watch the video because I was so focused on how much I didn't like his video editing.
Yeah, L-theanine's good. Stack it with a little caffeine, it's better. Good for the nerves. Keep you a little calm.
Have you ever taken L-theanine just like you take it as a supplement? Mm-hmm. So and it's in energy drinks as well.
Yeah,
sometimes.
So they'll put that in taurine in energy drinks.
But it's
sometimes
not enough,
to smooth it out. It's not usually enough.
What's the recommended dosage of
about
L-theanine?
200 milligrams.
Every day, morning?
Yeah, once a day is fine. You can take it twice.
Okay, because they said it helps with like depression and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
it's got some neurochemical food, if you will, that your body can use to make the rest of some neurochemicals. That stacked with L-tyrosine and caffeine is very good. I think on TikTok it was floating around like that. It was like natural Adderall. I wouldn't say it goes that far, but L-tyrosine's got all the food to make dopamine. L-theanine kind of smooths out the nervous system. Caffeine, a little stimulant, kind of calm you down if you've got ADHD. So biochemistry.
Yeah, nice. All right, war on the cartels. Here we go.
If we declare war on the cartel,
that guy kind of looks like Tim Kennedy.
Understand what the fuck is going on. They are in for a world of like ultra violence they've never actually felt before because obviously this is a very capable organization. They have
go put a tier 1 unit in there.
Clue if we organize these tier 1 units against them.
Is that a real thing that they've proposed doing?
Yes, that is a real thing.
Who proposed that?
I'm almost positive either JD or Trump had said something with the new guy from ICE, like we're going to mobilize tier 1 units against the cartel.
So real quick, can we also talk about the fact that, did you see who posted this? Black Rifle Coffee Company. Oh. Just wanted to point that out because we talk a lot about Fat and Weird and like what we post on our social media and stuff. And like, obviously Black Rifle Coffee Company is like very military pro, like that. This is like their demographic, but I just want to talk about how has nothing to do with coffee.
Nope.
So this is for Andy and Alex more so than anything else. But this is something I'll let you talk on more. But I will say the fact that people think that even cartels or just like military gangsters have any kind of like real training or understanding compared to like actual special forces or just truthfully any military trained personnel. I won't even get into special forces. I mean, just like regular military trained people have already more training than like the cartel people, not to mention the weapons and technology and stuff like that we have. But to your level of,
I mean, just in general, right? Special Forces Pipeline, the guys that are making it all the way through all the selection processes and then able to hang on their units and earn their place there. Because I mean, as far as I know, pretty much everywhere you get through, you get your ribbons, you get your patches or whatever, you make it to your unit, and it's like congratulations. So everyone else did this same bullshit. Yeah. Now you got to prove yourself.
Right.
Day one. What up? And so it takes a level of what's the word I'm looking for, where you can detach yourself from what's going on currently to be able to get through that at any given time. And so the levels of, I mean, cartels are extremely scary because of the levels of violence that they are willing to do, not just to you, but to innocent people all around. I would say that the guys I know aren't willing to do it to innocent people, but they're willing to do far worse things than you've ever thought about to you. They're being held back. There are literal laws in place that prevent them from, I mean.
Right.
I could tell you stories, but they would like incriminate. Like, I mean, what guy, like video game talk stems from real life talk. I mean, guys wanting to get knife kills is real. Like having tallies of them is real. Like just, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think people realize like, some of the things that happen in like war, Yeah,
well, like waterboarding was invented so that you'd be alive afterwards. I mean, the torturing was too.
Well, any torturing you've seen on movies is stuff that's happened in real life.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at a movie and you're like, oh, I wonder how they thought of that. They've done it. I mean, they've removed your fingernails. They've shoved needles in between your fingernails.
And it's been a long time though since we've had to deal with like the old backwoods practice of like, oh, this is just some old school. No, man, they hire the same consultants the CIA hires on how to cause pain to the human body. I mean, there's like literal professions of like what nerves do, how to keep people alive longer, how to enact extreme levels of nerve pain, what drugs to give people to keep them from dying. I mean, all of that, right? And that CIA level directed via the tier 1 units into, I wouldn't.
And plus, I've seen the movie Equalizer. One dude takes down whole cartels all the time.
All the time.
All the time, bro.
All the time.
He just starts his stopwatch and just smashes glass. I mean, I love those movies, though.
The level of training is like a poor thug that's usually either strung out on something or they have some hooks into somehow. Here's a gun. That's the level of training. I mean, like, the difference would be like, dude, if Delta Force, Ranger Battalion, SEALs, somebody wanted to come in and get them, it'd be like, this just in. All 6 cartel leaders died at the same time. Like, in a timed attack all across the world, all at the same time.
Right.
And then drone strikes took out everything else they had.
Right.
I mean, it would be funny.
Yeah, but we don't take out the cartels because that's how the CIA makes all their money.
They need their money.
Okay. How to outsmart the electric company. This is a humor, so not actually true. So.
A lawyer said if you call the utility company and tell them you're sending a check, they legally cannot shut off your power. So I thought, okay, for 10 years, at 8:01 in the morning on the date of disconnection, I would call the public utility district to say I'm sending in a check.
Oh, boy.
And after a while, I heard this noise, and then many years later, I met some of the people who goes, you're a legend. I go, what do you mean? He says, we all gathered around the phone at 8:01 on disconnection day, betting that Stamets would not call. And everybody who bet that I would not call lost their bets. And at the end, everyone would just cheer. It's Paul. And I think they're having a party in the background. No, it's Paul calling at 8:01.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I saw that video before.
Is that real?
Great way to start your week if you're just staff at the power company, I guess. Like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Pay your bills, man.
Yeah, I just pay for what I use. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like at the end of the day, like I realize like there's some things that you want to fight, but like the utility bill is like one of the ones I'm like, yeah, I used that power, bro. I definitely took that warm shower and cooked that
Hey, guys,
food
want to
and-
know a trick? Just write 0 in that bottom box on the IRS. You don't have to pay them anything.
Yeah, until they audit you and then arrest you. But no.
What happened 10 years later? Did he not pay his bill for 10 years? I don't remember.
I don't know. I also just say like you can tell the IRS 0. And if they don't say anything for you, nothing happens.
Follow me for more tax advice.
It's true. Here's the biggest deduction you can take. Just tell them you made no money. They thought of you. This is not legal advice. Don't actually do that. All right. We get in trouble.
Deathbed confessions.
All right. I don't believe any of these are real, but let's hear it.
Here's some of the craziest deathbed confessions.
That
So
ChatGPT
Hollywood
made.
actor named Margaret Gibson admitted during her last breath that she was responsible for murdering the prolific director William Desmond Taylor, while Henry Lucas, a convicted serial killer, confessed on his deathbed that he lied about everything and didn't actually kill anybody. Christian Sperling confessed that the famous 1934 photo of the Loch Ness Monster was a hoax, and that they constructed a model of the creature to pass it off as real. Earl Van Best confessed to being the Zodiac Killer in his final moments, while Walter Pecka confessed to being D.B. Cooper, one of the most famous criminals in history, who hijacked a plane and extorted a ransom of $200,000 before escaping in a parachute and never being seen again. Joseph Valacchi provided details on the Mafia in his final moments, becoming the first Mafia member to publicly acknowledge the Mafia in the United States. Francis Thompson had one of the most jarring confessions, stating that he killed his entire family 40 years prior. And finally, James Brewer confessed to murder of a man 32 years earlier in his final moments, but he ended up surviving and then was later arrested for his confession. That's crazy.
Wait, is there no statute of limitation on murder, I guess?
Not on murder.
Dang.
Shucks. Can we just
I was
say
just kidding.
how committed you had to be back in the day in like the black and white photo era to make a Loch Ness prop? Because where are you even going to circulate this photo?
Yeah. In your local paper.
Like, yeah, got him,
Or it got in
boys.
the national paper.
Got
or
him,
something?
y'all. Woo!
It was in the national paper.
I know, but like, you can't even.
Wait, how do you get the national paper?
That's what I'm
Did
saying.
they
You
even
gotta,
distribute
like,
it?
mail it to them? Like, develop a bunch of
Yeah. Oh, man.
real ones.
I like partially believe that some of these deathbed concessions are just
Made up
made up.
ChatGPT.
Well, made up, or like the person didn't actually do the things. They were just like, YOLO. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm the Zodiac Killer.
Sure you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay.
So am I.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, Adam, you weren't born yet. Maybe I was.
it was me in my past life.
Maybe
I came back.
Maybe it was, though.
I'm wearing the skin of
That's
the
right.
person. Anyways, okay. KFC Japan created a tradition. Well, just real quick, I think it would be super easy to like make a ChatGPT version of these videos and just like make up names. I'm not going to go check any of this.
No.
But I
don't even
watched it.
remember. Yeah.
So, okay.
Remember somebody
We should make an account where you just blatantly lie to people and just see.
Did you know KFC tricked all of Japan into eating KFC every Christmas? In a clever marketing campaign in the 70s, they said that eating KFC for Christmas is a big tradition that everyone in America enjoyed each year. And now each Christmas they serve this party barrel that you have to place your order for months in advance. It contains 4 layers. The first layer is the original Christmas plate with a handwritten note wishing you happy holidays. The second layer is their delicious chicken. The third layer is a special shrimp plate. And the last layer is a tiramisu cake decked out in holiday decor.
What
Do you
world is
think
that
they went
tiramisu?
too far with this trick?
A shrimp plate?
So I've actually heard this before, and I thought it was hilarious because the tradition in America is Chinese food, and the Chinese people are eating KFC, which would be like, or Japanese, okay, are eating KFC, which is like Southern American food.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's like, haha, got you. Somehow they convinced us to eat Chinese food.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing. Amazing. We should recover this on Christmas.
Thanksgiving facts.
So on Thanksgiving they do KFC, and on Christmas, that was Christmas.
That was Christmas.
So
Yeah.
we need one for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving facts.
This is why Thanksgiving is way wilder than you thought. Brace yourself for these surprising facts. Thanksgiving wasn't always in November. Different presidents set various dates until Lincoln made it official in November.
Yep, I knew that. No, that's true.
Feast in 1621 didn't even have turkey. It featured venison, seafood, and local crops instead.
Yeah.
TV dinners owe their existence to Thanksgiving. Swanson created them to repurpose leftover turkeys, revolutionizing the food industry. Macy's Parade without balloons? Yep, the original event had live animals from the Central Park Zoo. Thanksgiving isn't just American. Canada, Liberia, and Japan have their own harvest festivals, each with unique traditions. The turkey pardon tradition? It only became an official annual event in the 1980s. And Americans? We eat over 50 million turkeys each Thanksgiving. The largest pumpkin pie ever? It weighed over 3,600 pounds. Surprisingly, Jingle Bells was originally a Thanksgiving song. Finally,
we can make a bigger pumpkin pie.
Tried moving Thanksgiving up a week, calling it Franksgiving. Public outcry ensued. For more jaw-dropping facts, check out our channel and
I love that they literally, this account probably just makes ChatGPT style, like, oh, they don't have a lot of subscribers. I don't know how you find some of the stuff you find. I swear to God, Andy will send me a video that has like 10 views on it. And I'm like, first off, like, do you follow? And he doesn't follow this account. I'm like, how did you find this video? And it's from 3 weeks ago. And why do you think it's funny enough to send to me? It only has 10 views. That's what Andy sent you.
Abraham Lincoln started the Black Friday tradition too.
Oh, really?
For economic stimulus to start like the holiday season. That's why it kind of went to that floating day. So there was a weekday. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's like a straight up ChatGPT pool on there. But I mean, I had a feeling that obviously like Thanksgiving wouldn't be turkey. I mean, it would make way more sense to be like venison or like whatever hunted meat you could find. Yeah. Like turkeys are like not something
like ham.
Yeah, definitely.
Pigs are everywhere.
Yeah. Boar. Yeah, for sure. But like, yeah, I mean, like turkeys are like, are they even everywhere? I feel like I don't know. Definitely see in Montana.
Oh, no. When I was out in California, we were doing a little barbecue and we were cooking up a bunch of chickens. And one turkey comes out, and me and two guys that were from the southeast were over there, and we're like, boy, dude, look at this. Like right in the backyard. And because they came in over here, they probably get shot.
Yeah.
And then like 9 other turkeys popped out the woods with them and just were like hanging out in the backyard with us. I was like, dude, there's no pressure out here. It was like San Francisco. So of course nobody had a gun.
Yeah, right.
I probably could have run over there and hit it with a tennis racket.
Just grab it.
Boom, got it.
Are they fast? I think they're pretty quick.
They're fast.
Yeah.
But probably not those turkeys. California turkeys.
Yeah, the lazy turkeys. They just don't move around. So do you think Thanksgiving's the same everywhere? Because I mean, obviously in the South, it's like, you know, green beans, sweet potato casserole. Like
no, it changes.
Stuff.
It changes all over the United States. I thought that's something weird. I don't know if you got to like where you ate when you were in the military, but something I got to appreciate being with folks.
Oh yeah.
I, for whatever reason, had a bunch of like Yankee folks with me in some of the trainings, and I was in there for a Thanksgiving, and the stuff they wanted was like shit I had never heard of before, like different casseroles, and like I'm not even gonna be able to call out what it was, but like in the South
they're eating their fucking beans on toast,
the full fats, you know.
Yeah.
We like our mac and cheese a certain way, gravy a certain way, all that, and then they start getting different as they head out.
Yeah, that's wild.
Wonder what they do in the Midwest, man. Wonder if they get a lot of cheese in. Not a lot of cheese on my Thanksgiving table.
Yeah, like cheese curds and stuff, you know.
Yeah, you know, like frying up.
I wonder. I'm gonna ask. We have some friends from Wisconsin.
Guys, comment below. Let us know what you guys' favorite Thanksgiving food is.
Yeah. What is your go-to Thanksgiving thing? Okay. All right. Random facts. These are great because they're not always true.
If your pupils reflect white in a picture, it could be a sign that something is seriously wrong with them. Random facts that could save your life.
Something.
The last fact is not from a movie. If the air starts smelling like chlorine during a storm, it means lightning might hit you. If you're ever buried in an avalanche, spit. Your saliva will follow the gravity, and you can simply dig the opposite way. If someone ever tries to grab you, scratch them. Their DNA will now be in your nails. If you are in a foreign country and need to call for help but don't know the emergency number, call 112. If your house smells like fish for absolutely no reason, 9 times out of 10, it means that there is an electrical fire. If a service dog ever approaches you without its owner, follow them and do it quickly because potentially you can save someone else's life. If someone gets stabbed, do not take the knife out but do apply pressure around the wound. Happy people should consider liking and subscribing.
Happy people. Well, I'm not happy, so I'm not liking and subscribing.
Yeah, your pupils, something might be wrong if they're reflect
white. Yeah, or the flash could have just been really bright.
True that. Yeah, you could be having pupil damage from that bright ass flash.
Yeah. What's wrong with you is you're blind now. Yeah. You're blind from the flash. I mean, a lot of that stuff was true thing. Like you don't take the knife out because it's essentially obstructing the wound, and you don't want to be pulling out whatever that's in there. You just apply pressure around it. Gosh, what else was there? Oh, yeah, you do scratch someone if they're trying to abduct you because you obviously want to do that. But, I mean, at the same time,
don't get abducted, though.
Yeah.
That's also important.
Don't
Because
do that,
otherwise
yeah.
they take their DNA with them.
Yeah.
With you. So,
and then if they find your body, I guess they could get the skin out. But maybe.
Don't be abducted.
I don't remember what else they had said on there. But, I mean, most of them seemed like they were pretty true statements. I don't know what way the electrical fire smelled like fish.
Smell like fish? I don't know about that.
I've heard stuff about like you being able to smell like that smell, but to me it's not fish. That smells like
hot metal.
Yeah, it's
that like
crispy. Smells like crispiness.
Smells like there's
smells like your heater just turned on for the first time in Florida, and all the dust is burning inside your
like,
vents. You know,
something on fire.
Gosh, what was the other one? Oh,
ozone. Yeah. If you smell ozone, it's not likely to hit you, but it's likely that all the what you want to call it, prerequisites are involved for lightning to be present.
Oh yeah,
ozone's O3, so it's just got an additional oxygen molecule attached to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're smelling ozone, lightning has struck near there, and I guess the chance of lightning also striking you is then higher.
I think it also has to do with the nitrogen that's created.
You were at Bay when that girl got struck by lightning, weren't you?
It was like right before I went to Bay High School, so it was like still very much like
because you were.
I was at Jenks when that happened.
Oh, so I was at Mosley because I was in 9th grade because I'm a year older than you when it happened, and I remember I was literally like, "Shit."
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there, but was told blew her shoes off, blew the stuff in her pockets out of her pockets.
Yeah,
like
right.
And I know that like my 9th grade year, it was very much like because I thought it was crazy shit over there. Like there's thunder.
Yeah,
everyone walking. They had these walkways. There was like
the girl walked out towards
everywhere.
the middle of the opening of like the school grounds, but the truth is there were trees and buildings all around.
Yeah,
it is pretty crazy that.
And I don't know how you were as a kid, but like lightning, zero chance I was going to get struck by lightning.
Yeah,
in my
same.
mind. Zero chance.
Yeah. Do you know when I actually got scared of lightning?
What?
I took a lightning class at Florida.
Oh,
so part of electrical engineering is there was a lightning class that we could take, and there's only like 15 universities that actually study lightning to the level that have classes like this. Because at UF, they used to shoot rockets into lightning storms, Kevlar coated rockets with this like Kevlar coated copper wire that would run and take like all these readings. And the actual rocket had a Faraday cage with like accelerometers and all this stuff in there.
Ben Franklin type stuff.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
They had a rocket that could shoot from like a tower, and they had another one that could shoot from like the ground, and they would just like shoot them up into these clouds.
That's neat.
And that they had these Kevlar coated copper wires so they wouldn't get like bound up. So they would just like go up into the air and they could just take. But we studied this lightning class, and I remember like the first week we're there, we study these like elementary school kids that go on this field trip up a mountain, and lightning strikes them all in this thing. And it talks about like this kid died, this kid dead, this kid unaffected, then dead. And you're like, what the heck? And like it literally walks you through all this different like things. Like some of them had like open wounds on their body, thus they've lowered their like resistance, meaning the lightning went to them instead of this other kid. It was wild.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, lightning is, well, it kills you because like a lot of people think lightning strikes and hits the ground. Lightning connects between the ground and the cloud, and then it actually like pulses back and forth, and it literally is like equalizing the charge. So a lot of people think lightning is just like strike, done, but it's really like if you had a bunch of power on this side and a bunch of power on this side, and they got close enough when they touch, right? They touch, and then they balance out, and then balancing out isn't equal. It goes, I have more, no way, I have more, and it kind of like goes back and forth. And normally lightning flashes like 6-ish times back and forth in that instantaneous thing. So if someone's getting voltage going up and down their body repeatedly, and it just, you can't. So yeah, it's crazy. Lightning is wild. I think
it's insane, man. Yeah, it's scary stuff.
Yeah, it's cool too, though.
It's so cool.
But yeah, I mean, when we figure out how to power the world off of lightning, that'd be pretty dope. I mean, it's a shit ton of current, just it's quick.
Yeah, but in theory, you should just be able to capture all that friction before it, like, and create it on your own.
Just capture the charge. Just like steal the charge from the you know?
Just brushes or something up there.
Yeah, just like pull the charge out. Actually, I didn't think about that. You could just like try to equalize the charge in the air before it even existed.
Yeah. You know,
because that's what caused all the fires in Montana and stuff like that.
Something I was thinking
Lightning.
about. Have we ever thought about like huge kites to go up and help with some of like the sun stuff, the issues that we've got? I know they'd be huge, and I understand that sounds kind of, but like huge kites for like sun sails. You know how well those work
to like block sun.
You ever been under one of those in a hot ass day?
Yeah,
it's so tolerable under there. Like I feel like there'd be some kind of way we could do a big kite, shade kites, but like
higher up in the air.
Oh yeah, like a mile.
I wonder if it's just like the size of the wind. You'd have, how do you anchor that? Like,
still, it feels like something we should be working on. We build wind turbines, dude, and those like never pay for themselves.
Well, think about this too. Like when you're holding something right above your head and it's small, the shade you get is just the size of it. But the further out you go, like the more you can block off. You know what I mean?
That's
So
what I'm saying.
like a small piece of fabric
up high enough
would block off like a large area. Because clouds, like, I mean, they block off a whole city sometimes, and they're not that big. You know, they're just closer
Instead
to the
of spraying, you know, metals in the air.
Oh, I know, right?
We can just
anyway. All right, well, that's it. We're gonna go get fat and weird on Thursday. Tomorrow we're going to, you're not going, but I'm going to see Mana too.
Yeah.
Are you going at some point?
Friday, I think.
Friday? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
Kirsty wants to do the 40X, so.
Yeah. Well, we want to do the 40X too, but some of my family members didn't want to do it. So
a little spray in your face.
I turned that off. I immediately sit down and turn the water off. I'm like, do not spray me in the
Don't
face.
spit in my face. I'm not into that.
Yeah. I don't know where you've been.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on the podcast. Hope you have a wonderful or had a wonderful Thanksgiving because you'll be watching this after Thanksgiving's happened.
That's right.
But you're worth it. Do hard shit.
See ya.